Let's make a deal. When did the automotive repair industry become that industry of let's make a deal? Because I don't know. I really don't know. It's been a slow progression over the years, but now it's absolutely terrible. Everybody wants a break. Everybody wants something for free. And I don't know how it got that way. Quite sure. So I'm assuming other professionals out there, meaning carpenters, electricians, plumbers, HVAC guys, stuff like that, pros in the industry that do stuff like this. Anything that you need your brain and your hands and tools to do your job. And I'm not saying that people that work in an office, people work on computers, I'm not saying that they don't have a brain. What I'm saying is the professional industries, those people in particular, are constantly asked for breaks and discounts and this, that, and the other thing. And let me just tell you a few instances that I just had this week. And it's actually ridiculous if you ask me. But people never want to pay for diagnosis, okay? And it's the people that actually understand things, they don't mind paying for diagnosis because they know it's the right thing to do and the right way to go about getting to that point of figuring out what's wrong with your car. Otherwise, you're throwing parts at a problem. That's all it is. So we had a woman come in a couple of weeks ago, came in, gave us a part, or she had a part in her hand, I should say. And she said, "Can you install this in my vehicle?" And it was an upper end European brand of vehicle. There's no cheap repair on an upper end European vehicle. So yes, we can install that part for you. But why? Why do you want to install that part? So she says, well, that's what the parts store told me I needed. Okay, do you want us to diagnose it first or do you just want to throw a part at it? Well, no, it was already diagnosed. So the parts store scanned it and said, this is the part you need. And you're saying that's a diagnosis. Yeah, that's not a diagnosis. This is the code you have. This is a likely culprit. Could that be the problem? Sure, it absolutely can be. But understand that may not be the problem. There could be something else going wrong. And it's setting that code because that sensor is reading something incorrectly for a reason. So the only thing the computer knows is that sensor is not within its parameters, so it's setting the code. She refused to pay for diagnosis, didn't want to pay for diagnostics, not at all. Okay. We threw the part in, we did an oil change, and it's an expensive oil change on that car too. It's like $150 oil change. And it was an hour's labor to put that part in. So she leaves. She's gone a week or two, whatever it was. So she just came back this week. She says, my check engine light's back on. Okay. Well, you just fixed it. No, we installed the part that you gave us. You didn't want to diagnose what was wrong with it. Okay, what's it going to take to diagnose it? Well, it runs about $150 plus tax for an hour's worth of diagnostics. If it goes beyond that hour, I will call you and I'll let you know that it goes beyond that hour and we need more time to figure out what's going on. I said, usually we could figure it out within the hour, but not all the time. Sometimes it could take 2, 3, 4 hours, just depending on what the actual issue is, what we're looking at. Okay, all right, well, yeah, go ahead and fix it. Okay, or diagnose it, I should say that. Go ahead and diagnose it. So while I was diagnosing it, it turns out that the throttle blade position determines obviously how much airflow goes into the engine for idle speed. And as it gets dirty over time, the electric throttle bodies have to open up slightly, which changes the TPS setting. And it opens up slightly and it changes the parameters and what the computer's seeing. So now eventually the computer's seeing the throttle body at a slightly more open position than it's supposed to be because the throttle body's dirty. But it doesn't know that. It thinks that there's something wrong. That's why it's holding that. So it set a code for this particular sensor. Okay. So I called her up. I said, this is what I'm finding. And I believe this to be true. I'm going to clean the throttle body and see if that changes anything. And then I'm going to take it for a road test and see if I can't get it to induce a code. Okay, that's great. So I go ahead and I clean the throttle body, put everything back together, clear the codes out. I road test it. And I watch all the different parameters on the scanner. And I drove the thing 3 different times. My good long road test, which takes 15 to 20 minutes, okay? I did that 3 times. So figure an hour's worth of road tests. Never set another code. Idle was perfect. Everything was perfect. I think that's the problem. Could I guarantee it still at this point? No, but I'm pretty confident that's what it is. There still could be something else wrong, but it's not showing, it's not rearing its ugly head at this point in time. So since I was in there doing the diagnostics and I came up with this, I cleaned the throttle body as part of the diagnostic labor, and I just charged her for a can of cleaner. Not a big deal, just a can of cleaner. The bill was, so figure it was 150 bucks plus, I think the can of cleaner, the small can was like 18 bucks. No big deal. 175, 185 bucks, whatever the total was. So she calls up, or I tried calling her first. I couldn't get through to her. Then this older gentleman comes in and he says, yeah, I'm here to pick up the keys for such and such's car. I was like, oh, okay. I said, you're paying the bill too? Well, there's a bill? Yeah. Yeah, there's a bill. I already spoke to her about this the other day. Oh, how much is the bill? It's 180 something bucks. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to call her. I said, well, I did try calling her today, but it keeps going to a voicemail box and it says the voicemail box is not set up. And he's, oh, she's at work and she turns her phone off when she's at work. Okay. I said, well, if you want to pay the bill, I can give you the keys because they wanted to pick it up at night or tomorrow, which is Saturday. No, he didn't want to pay the bill. Okay, that's fine. About an hour later, she calls and she says, yeah, is my car all done? Yeah, it's all done. I said, you can come pick it up. I said, somebody was just here to pick it up not too long ago. Oh, that was my granddad. Okay. So she says, did you give him the keys? I said, no. I said, because there's a bill on this repair order. What do you mean there's a bill? I said, we spoke about this. There's a diagnostic fee. I said, I did find the problem. I did clean the throttle body. So the only thing you got charged for was the diagnostic fee and the cleaner. I said, I could have added another hour to this ticket for cleaning the throttle body, but I didn't. I was a nice guy and I only charged you for the diagnostic because I did this repair during the diagnostics, which happens sometimes. She was not happy. She was not happy. She couldn't understand how we put this part in for her last month, a couple of weeks ago, whatever it was. And that didn't fix the problem. So why are we charging her for diagnosis? You didn't pay for diagnosis then. You wanted us to put the part in. Yeah, but you charged me this much money to do it. Yeah, that's the labor involved to do that repair. But yeah, she was not happy on the phone. Needless to say, I told her, I said, I'm leaving at 5 today. So if you're not here to pick it up by 5, it gets parked in the lot. It's going to stay here for the weekend. If you want to pay over the phone, I can send you a link. You can pay over the phone, and then I can leave the car out front, and your grandfather can come pick up the keys. If you want to do that, that's fine. She didn't want to do that. Okay. I was actually at the shop till 5:30. The phone never rang. But that's one of them. Oh, hold on. Then we had a guy come in with another European vehicle, wanted to know, could we change the spark plugs on his vehicle? He had his own spark plugs. So I said, sure, we can do it. We were a little on the slow side. So he says, how much would that cost? So I looked up labor. It was 2 hours of labor to do those particular spark plugs. So I told him it'd be 2 hours at $150 an hour. So that's 300 bucks plus tax. You're probably looking at 350 bucks in total, somewhere thereabouts. So he's, really, that much? Yeah, it's 2 hours of labor. You can't do it faster than that? It doesn't matter if I can do it faster than that. It's 2 hours of labor. Either you pay it or you don't. I didn't say that, but I was like, it's 2 hours of labor. I don't know how long it's going to take me. If it takes me longer, it takes me longer, but it's still 2 hours of labor. So anyway, back and forth, he goes, well, I could do it myself. Okay, so then why don't you do it yourself? Well, I don't have the tools. Can I borrow your tools? No, you cannot borrow my tools. Oh, then I don't have the tools to do it. I said, you can go buy tools. He goes, but tools are expensive. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding, tools are expensive. Now you know why repair shops charge what they charge, because tools are expensive. So anyway, we get the job. We do the job. And it takes us about an hour and a half or something, but I still charge them to 2 hours. That's what we agreed upon. So I still charge them to 2 hours. It was an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes maybe is actually what it took. So it's not like we killed the time on it. You have to take an upper strut brace off and everything else to get to the engine cover, to get the engine cover off, to get all the bolts out for all the coils, to get all the coils out, to get to the spark plug. It's not like a 2-minute ordeal. Anyway, so he comes to pick it up and he's like shaking his head like we're ripping him off. Dude, you just showed up in a Cadillac Escalade, a pretty new one, to come pick up your upper end European sports sedan. Like, really? And you're going to cry over $350? I don't understand. I don't get it. Then we had another one, and this guy, we deal with him all the time. He's actually a nice guy, but he's a pain, an absolute pain. So he calls me up and he says, I want to bring my car in for an oil change. He goes, and I think I need a battery. How much do you charge for a battery? Well, his was a Dodge Avenger. Dodge Avenger has the battery inside the fender well, or inside the bumper, I should say, to the front of the left front wheel. So you got to put the car up in the air, take the wheel off, and then take the inner shield out to get to the battery. So I said, well, on those, it's $235 for one of our in-stock batteries, which is still a deal. And that includes the installation. Well, AutoZone has a battery for $210 or something like that. I go, yeah, and there's no installation included with that. I said, because of where it's located. I'm including the labor in it too. Oh, okay, okay, okay. So he comes in and we do the oil change. We put the battery in it. And then when I'm done with it, he goes, can I have the core back? Can you have the core back? There is no core. Well, yeah, there is. I can return that. I can return that battery to the recycler and they'll give me $5. I said, no, no, hold on. What you're not understanding is I'm never charging you a core on it because there's a $20 core on that battery. So I have to return that battery. Otherwise, I get charged $20. Well, then take the $20 off the bill. I said, no, no, you're not hearing me. I'm not charging you the core charge because I'm keeping the core. I said it's $235 for the battery installed. Okay. There's no core charge on it because I'm keeping the core. If you want the core to return it to the recycling place to get $5, I have to charge you $20. He couldn't understand it. He absolutely couldn't understand it. It took several tries, or several, I shouldn't say tries, several back and forth discussions before he finally understood where I was coming from. But it's like, when did we become the Let's Make a Deal organization? I don't get it. I remember, and it's really the wrong thing to say, but I remember at a shop I moonlighted at, I've spoken about this before, this shop. I remember some guy came in and wanted something. And the owner of the shop was there and he looked at him and he says, do you see a cross on the roof? And I was just like, wow, that was rough. I would never say anything like that, but I was just like, I understand the reasoning behind it. It's because people want stuff for free, for nothing, whatever. And it's just, it gets aggravating. We've had people say, well, I don't have the tools. Can I borrow yours? Like the guy with that vehicle to do his spark plugs. I've had plenty of people ask me to borrow my tools. No, I'm not going to let you borrow my tools. We've had people ask, can we borrow your lift? No, you cannot borrow your lift. And then they want to justify, well, why? How come you're charging me this much in labor? Because that's what the labor charge is. Okay. And it's, you see what I'm driving? I'm driving either a 300,000 mile Dodge pickup. I'm driving a 275,000 mile Dodge Caravan. I'm driving this little Kia with the smashed up front end. It's not like I'm rolling in money. Nobody here is rolling in money. It's like we're just your basic local repair shop that specializes in transmission and engine replacements. So we do a lot of those. But for some reason, people have this impression that mechanics, shop owners are these well-to-do people driving around in a Rolls Royce and then living in a $10 million mansion. I'm sure there are some out there, but I don't know of any. I really don't know of any. But yeah, I don't get it. Like why everybody has to look for that discount, look for that break when it comes to mechanics. And obviously because I'm in the industry, it seems like it's more prevalent in my industry. But like I said, I'm sure other professionals out there experience the same thing. But hey, you don't go to the grocery store and ask for something for free. Hey, you got eggs that are about to expire tomorrow. You give them to me for half off, I'll take them. You don't go into McDonald's and say, well, since you got all those fries cooked, I'll take an order of fries for free. Really? So anyway, it's just been an aggravating week, and I just had to share this with you. So you notice I haven't put up a lot of videos lately, but that's because I've been running the office and stuff like that. So I've been working 10 hours a day at the shop and then coming home and basically I'm done. I just had to walk into my personal space here today just to make this video. Anyway, if you're getting something out of my videos, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. All right, guys, have a great day. Keep wrenching.